Investigators say where this victim was shot tells them this was no random crime. 40-year-old Kevin Jones is accused of shooting a man in the groin. He's been on the run for the past 4 months, and now federal investigators need your help tracking him down. Southeast D.C., July 6. An otherwise quiet Tuesday afternoon in the neighborhood of Buena Vista is interrupted by gunfire.
Patrol officers were in the area and they heard 2 gunshots. They responded to the actual front of the building, which was the 3000 block of 30th Street, Southeast Washington, D.C.
Here, on the steps of an apartment building, a bloody discovery.
They see the victim laying on the doorstep with blood pouring out of his lower area of his body.
A man had been shot in the groin. He's rushed to the hospital. And as doctors work to save his life, is able to tell police who shot him. According to the U.S. Marshals Service, that suspect is 40-year-old Kevin Anthony Jones.
He was able to positively identify the shooter as Mr. Jones.
Tony Gauze
when somebody takes a shot there
is a senior inspector with the U.S. Marshals Service. He says security cameras captured and witnesses recounted a shocking shooting that was personal and calculated. It was planned.
Absolutely, because there were words that went back and forth, a small argument, before Mr. Jones went back and got the weapon out of the vehicle and came back and shot the victim.
Investigators say Jones got into an unknown argument with the victim. Gauze detailing Jones is seen walking to his car where 2 other men are waiting. Here, retrieving a gun and pulling a mask over his face as he walks back to the apartment. Jones firing 2 shots at the steps of the building, the bullets striking the victim in his groin and hand.
Immediately after the shooting, he did return back to the vehicle, drive off, and ultimately dumped the vehicle again.
Investigators say they've recovered Jones' car and arrested 1 man who was with him during the shooting. But Jones, nowhere to be found. Anything you can tell us about that argument? What was said?
We're still in the investigation phase.
How do you believe he's been able to elude law enforcement thus far?
Because he's in that drug world and narcotics world.
A world, investigators say, where there's often fear in coming forward. The U.S. Marshals Service describing Jones as quiet but volatile and likely armed and dangerous.
5:43 in the middle of the summertime, plenty of daylight, plenty of foot traffic, and no remorse or no worrying about victims, bystanders, anything like that. It was definitely meant to happen.
Take a closer look. Kevin Jones stands at approximately 6'1", weighing 165 pounds. In his most recent mugshot, you can see his long dreadlocks are pulled back. In an older picture, you can see them down. We're told he may or may not be wearing glasses. If you have any information into Jones's whereabouts, you're asked to call this tip line. The number 1877 wanted 2. Right now, there is a $2,500 reward for information in this case. I'm Alexa Ashwell, and this is Maryland's Most Wanted.